Well, good morning. Today we find ourselves in the foothills of the Niagara Escarpment in the Mulmer Township here in central Ontario. We're hiking about a 10-kilometer hike today along some dirt country roads into the hills. There's a couple of areas I'd like to photograph. Now, I was here twice before in the past. The last time I was here was probably about 2 years ago. I've been here once in the summer, and we've been here once in the winter. Obviously it's winter now, you can probably see all the snow. February the 22nd, the temperature is about -3 or 4 degrees Celsius, so it's not terribly cold compared to what we have sometimes here, but it's cold enough. It's grey, it's cloudy. The weatherman says the cloud is going to break. We are going to get some periods of kind of cloudy and sunshine and a little bit of everything. But right now, it's grey. I actually like this grey. I like this grey for the photograph that I have in mind today, which is a row of trees in the hills, snow-covered fields, grey backdrop. I think it might be nice. Panoramic shot is what I'm thinking. But hey, it's Gary here with Gary Clayton Photography. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's beautiful. Let's go. Let's see what we can find today. Let's go. Now, the particular video we're working on today, I actually did try to do this video or create this video about 2 days ago. So indeed, I was in this section right here of the hike just 2 days ago, and I did photograph a tree, a fence, and some golden dried frozen leaves that was left over from the fall on a particular tree. I may add that footage, or I may not, I don't know yet, into this video. The reason why I'm telling you this is because all of a sudden I may be wearing a totally different coat than I'm wearing today. But the reason why I decided to cancel or not use that video was I wasn't happy with the quality of the video. It was way too sharp, and I instantly realized I haven't set the sharpness to where I want it to be on my new GoPro Hero 7 Black, which I'm vlogging with then and today. So with Pro Tune turned on, you can go into your settings in your GoPro 7 Black, and you can change the sharpness from high to medium and low. So I have changed it from high to medium. Hopefully that's going to work better for us today. Wow. Plus, we have a new tripod. I've been thinking of a new tripod for quite a while. Excuse me. I'm getting over a little bit of a chesty cold. But yeah, I've been thinking of a new tripod for quite a while, so I did kind of pull the trigger on that and buy one. I got the K&F 72-inch Pro. I've stripped it down a lot. I take the centerpiece out because I don't like the centerpieces. Makes it lighter because we do a lot of hiking, especially in the mountains. So hey, we're gonna so far I've had it about a week, that's all, and I love it so far. So once I've had a chance to try it out more and kind of beat it up a little bit, I will do a review on it, because for the price point it was great. Hey, let's continue on this hike. Let's see what we can find here. I find that whenever you upgrade or change equipment, there's always and obviously a learning curve that goes with that equipment, such as with my GoPro Hero 7 Black. Before that, I used the GoPro Hero 5 Black. I chose the 7 Black, or to upgrade to the 7 Black, because I wanted this new kind of gimbal-like stability that the 7 offered. But what I found, and again, another reason I actually cut the first attempt at this particular video short and called it a failure, was battery life. I had one battery for the GoPro Hero 7. I only ever had one battery for the GoPro Hero 5, which was never a problem with the 5. But with the 7, I ran out of power a third of the way into a video. I totally didn't expect that to happen at all. And that is with a GoPro battery. It's not a knockoff battery. So I was a little disappointed about that. So I immediately, when I got back to the studio that day, I did order 2 more batteries. But I did go with an off-brand 2 batteries, because they can't be any worse than the GoPro batteries. And that's what we're using in the camera today to try those out. So now we have a total of 3 batteries for the GoPro. Hopefully that works. Okay. Let's keep going, because we are getting closer to the tree line that we want to shoot today. Let's keep going. Something I'd like to show you here on this country road, just off the country road and into this forest. If you look closely, I hope you can see this. If you look closely in the snow, the tracks that you can see here, they're deer tracks going in and out of the forest or the bush. A lot of deer in this area, all throughout Ontario, generally speaking, if not Canada. Lots and lots of deer. But they're deer tracks. Obviously, they use this a lot. And if you go to the other side of the dirt road, we just move across the dirt road. We can see where they've crossed the road and they now enter back, or enter into the fields across the way. And what they're looking for there is corn stubble. So hey, I just wanted to take a moment and show you that. We do have a lot of wildlife here in Ontario, but deer, very prominent. We've got lots of them. They're pretty much everywhere. So this is basically a main highway for the local deer population. Interesting. Now, looking across this field up into the hill, the small row of trees in the distance. This is my first composition of the morning. The trees expand all the way across the top of the ridge. Now I realize this is very, very difficult to see in the GoPro. However, excuse me, with this GoPro I can zoom in. Okay, so now we're using maximum zoom on the GoPro. It's not a huge amount of zoom, but it's better than I had before. And again, there's the trees, the expanse across the ridgeline, looking up into the grey backdrop of the sky behind. So again, my first composition is a single frame right here. I'm not going to shoot a panoramic from this location. I'm going to get more central to the overall scene for that. But I do want to take a single frame of the image ahead of me, of the row of trees just on the hill. So let's get set up. And let's see what we can do. Stand by. Okay, one thing, first of all, I will apologize if I sound nasally. It's because I have been fighting this damn cold for probably 2 weeks now. And you know what? It just doesn't seem to want to go away. But it's okay. I mean, I feel fine. Okay, so we're set up on the tripod. Again, I'm using my new tripod. So this tripod, by the way, is a K&F. It's a K&F Concept 72-inch Pro. It has a number, TM2534T. It's absolutely amazing. I've only had it a week, but in that week I'm delighted. It cost me 200 Canadian dollars, around 150 US dollars. Highly recommend it. We will do a review on that down the road when we beat it up a little bit. Okay, the composition. As we spoke about, this is what we're looking at. Now, we're on the tripod with the Canon 5D Mark II. I'm using the Sigma 70-200. Right now I have a focal length of 135mm. I have an f-stop of f11, ISO 100, 1/200th of a second shutter speed, 2-second timer. There's my shot. Looks just fine. Love the grey backdrop. Would like to see a little bit of contrast in the backdrop. To my east, to my south, to the south of me, there is much more contrast in that grey, lighter grey, darker grey. Right now, where I'm shooting, it's one constant sheet of grey. So be it. What we're going to do, we're going to go to one stop. Oh, sorry. We're going to go, press too hard on the shutter button. We're going to go to one stop under. We're going to take another shot. We're going to go to one stop over, and we're going to take another shot. 3 images, so I have that data. One shot at what my camera tells me is exposed, one shot at one stop under, one shot at one stop over. HDR image, who knows? But it does give me that much detail and that much information to work with. So yeah, first composition is in the bag. Let's move down this country lane a little further and see if we can set up for a panoramic shot. We've moved to 250 yards south of where we were. Same general area. This is my composition. We're going to shoot along the ridge line into the trees, panoramic shot. Hey, how's it going to turn out? I have no idea. We'll know later. But first of all, again, excuse me, something in my eye. Excuse me. Again, we're on the tripod. Canon 5D Mark II, Sigma 70 to 200 mm lens. We have f11, ISO 100, a shutter speed of 1/200th of a second, 2-second timer, stabilization off, manual focus. First shot. Done. Moving to the right, overlapping by approximately 30 degrees. Second shot. Done. Moving to the right, overlapping again by approximately 30 degrees. Third shot done. Again, moving to the right. Fourth shot done. Again, to the right. Fifth shot done. And you know what? I'm just going to put you guys right in front of that lens just to tell me that that is when the panoramic sequence ends. Oh, runny nose. So hey, the wind up here is actually quite strong, quite steady. And even though it's not usually cold, about -2 right now, with the wind chill it's probably around -8, maybe -9. So I'm feeling the cold a little bit. Okay, about half a kilometer south of our last location, yet again another beautiful image to be captured of yet more trees along the ridgeline. It's perfect, it's beautiful. The trees, the silhouetting trees almost, with the grey backdrop and the white snow, is just great, and I really, really, really like that stuff. I really do. You may have heard photographers say, hey, embrace the grey. You know what? I embrace the grey. I really like grey. Not perfect for everything, but for what I'm doing today, there's not a lot of color out there anyhow. So the grey is awesome. Much better than a blue sky. Let's get it set up. And let's capture that image. Okay, So we're reset up on the tripod. What a beautiful little shot. You know what? You probably won't see this right now because I did not zoom before I turned on the GoPro. There's a small tree in the middle of the field with a row of larger trees behind that, more on the hill. That is what I'm trying to shoot. I'm using the small tree as the foreground interest, the larger trees as the background interest. So hey, let's see what happens. Again, we still have a focal length of, we have a focal length of 200 mil. We still have f11, ISO 100, still 1/200th of a second, 2-second timer. There's my image. Hey, you know what? Let us take a shot under. Give us that more detail. Let us take one shot over. Fingers are frozen. There's my image. I better take that again. Fingers are frozen. There we go. So again, one shot at what my camera tells me is exposed, one shot, one stop under, one shot, one stop over. Let's see if we can create an HDR image from that. And if we do, yep, let's pop it up right now and see. Okay, so another composition ahead of me. Now, we're about 2 or 3 kilometers from where we were when we were photographing the trees on the hill. But ahead of me is a red barn in the fields, a slight rise of hills behind. So that is what we're going to photograph next. Now, as much as I love gray skies, for this particular shot, some light would be much better. Something to bring out the colors. The barn is an old barn, a red color. With a little bit of sunlight on that barn, it would actually glow beautifully. But that we don't have. But you know what? Hey, we're going to make the best of it anyhow. Again, we're on the tripod. We have a focal length of 90 mil. Again, we're using the 70 to 200. F11, ISO 100. Now this time we have a shutter speed of 1/250th of a second. A little later, sun's a little higher in the sky behind the clouds, but it is a little brighter. There's my image, 2-second timer. Perfect. Well, maybe not, but anyhow. We're gonna go to one stop under again. We'll take one shot. We'll go to one stop over. I do this a lot, by the way. I bracket my shots in a manual mode a lot. Gives me 3 shots. Hey, let's see what we get out of that. And if we do get anything, we'll pop that up right now for you too. Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful location. What a beautiful day. We're lucky to be here. I am so happy that I live here. Now, just for a point of interest, by the way, my most favorite place that I know or have discovered so far to photograph, it's actually a combination of 2 kind of national parks. Now, I go to Iceland, I go to Mexico, I go to the Caribbean, I go to many different places, but in England, there's an area called the Yorkshire Dales, and an area right next to it, slightly northwest of there, called the Lake District. Absolutely amazing. I've been there now, I think 3 times, and I'm going again in about 3 weeks from now, heading back there for another 8 days of photography. That will be great, but those are my most favorite places to photograph. Just thought I'd mention that. Don't know why. Okay, let's carry on. So as I mentioned a little earlier, or a few moments ago, photographing the Lake District and the Yorkshire Dales in England, absolutely amazing. Places I love to go to. And I will be going there again in March. And I mentioned Iceland. Iceland is stunning. and I'm hoping to go back there again in November. I've been to Iceland several times, and I've been to England, the Yorkshire Dales and the Lake District several times. The Caribbean. I do a lot of underwater photography. In fact, you know what? I think I'll put a link up right now to one of my underwater photography videos. Something for you to check out that's a little different. But that is where photography started for me, was underwater. Anyhow, we're continuing with this hike. I just wanted to mention about those places. In the comments below, I'd love to hear where you guys like to go, where you like to photograph, your favorite places, which could be just local to your home. I mean, I don't know. Where I live here in Ontario, I'm out all the time. Right now, this location right here is about 30 kilometers from where I live. So, hey, this is relatively local to my house, yes. So yeah, leave a comment and let's talk about that. Let's find out where other people like to go. We all learn from each other. Hey, if you like what we're doing, give me a like, share, do leave that comment, and please, if you haven't already, do subscribe. As I said earlier, it's Gary here with Gary Clayton Photography. Let's continue down this country road. Oh, well, the hike goes well. It's still about 3 kilometers from where I am now, maybe 3.5 kilometers back to where I parked the van. Something I want to mention, by the way, because I did get an email or a comment about this on one of my videos in regards to settings and settings of a particular shot that I took. And today we talked about settings. Remember, we had, generally speaking, we had a aperture of f11, we had an ISO of 100, and earlier this morning it was giving us around a 200th of a second shutter speed. Now, just be aware, you could stand in the exact same spot that I stood today. You could stand there yesterday and you could have f11 and you could have an ISO of 100, and your shutter speed, to give you what your camera believes is correctly exposed, could be totally different than mine. But light changes constantly, and therefore your settings, whoa, very slippy. We are on ice here, by the way. In fact, I'm going to find an area on this little country road that doesn't have ice on it, so I don't hurt myself. But anyhow, settings, yeah, so settings can be totally different within moments of one person taking a shot and another person taking that same shot. Settings totally different, but it does, I believe, give you a starting point. I do use a tripod a lot, and that is because I do a lot of bracketing shots, and a tripod for me is mandatory for that. You don't particularly need a tripod for the panoramic shots. I can do that handheld, and so can you. But I like a tripod, so I use one. So hey, I just wanted to mention that about settings though. Don't all get kind of involved too much in what the settings should be. By all means, learn, understand, and know well the exposure triangle. But don't be a slave to your settings. For me, settings are a byproduct of creating the image that I want to capture. Whatever settings I used to create that, they're what the settings are. And that's it. Again, it's where your tripod comes in really handy, because I can use any shutter speed I want. It doesn't matter. But I wanted to mention that. Don't be a slave to settings, but do know your exposure triangle and know it well. Understand it. Hey, that's my 2 cents worth for today. Let's continue. Right now, we're on our way back down from the hills. So from here, we've got maybe 1.5 kilometers to go, pretty much downhill. So hey, we're gonna get back to the van. We're gonna grab a coffee as we always do. We're gonna head back to the studio. We're gonna look at some of these images we captured today, some of this video. Hopefully everything's worked out fine, and if it has, we're gonna watch it as a video. So you know what? Let's grab that coffee, let's kick back, let's have a look at some of our images from today. Thank you for watching my channel. Enjoy. Bye-bye. See you next time. Ah, man, life is good.